Hey, what's up, YouTube? Brett and Bordy here. Today, we have exciting stuff to talk about. More importantly, the Ebonscale Reach zone, which is the new zone that they announced with all this, all this big news drops with the release date and everything like that. We're getting a new zone, Bordy. So, before we get into this, don't forget to hit the subscription button, the notification bell for more New World content like this. We're putting out videos 5 days a week. Bordy.
Yeah.
You know we are, dude. We just and
lots of content.
Let's take
lots
this
of
time,
New World
yo,
stuff,
dude.
too.
Let's take this time real quick to thank everybody. We hit 400 subs today, so who knows, when you're watching this, we may be a little bit higher. But thank you to each and every one of you for supporting us. We really appreciate it, man. It's been a crazy journey so far. So thank you.
Yeah, it's been fun, man. Been enjoying it, and the support has been crazy. We hit it fast.
We really did. This was one of our goals to hit, and we never would have dreamed to hit it this quickly. So thank you to all of you who supported us. All right, so let's hop into the New World stuff. Bordy, we got a new zone. It's called Ebonscale Reach. It is an in-game zone filled with lush, wetlands, and towering cliffs. An exiled empress is building a corrupted fleet there that can threaten the entire world. Bordy, dude, one of the things we have talked about, off video is how cool this zone looks, the Eastern influence that it has. Dude, it's going to be really fun to see how this zone looks. Yeah,
man, it looks much different than the other zones and anything that we've seen, especially whenever you look at pictures of what appear to be the settlement, which I think we'll get into here in just a second. But even the walls around the settlement look completely different. We're used to those like wooden palisade looking walls, and now these are like some kind of, stone plaster looking, it just looks incredible, man. And it's so much different and such a refreshing sight to see. And it looks so good. I'm excited for this zone.
It leaves you wanting, man, because, how detailed and different this particular zone looks really kind of shows what they could be doing because of the historical nature of the game and the setting. Dude, we could see some pretty cool architecture from all of the different cultures in the world, and this is no exception. So let's go ahead and hop into these screenshots that we have for you guys. The first one that we have is... let me try to zoom out here a little bit so they can see the whole picture here. That's gonna be a little bit weird on this screen. Here we go. This is all right. Anyways, okay. So we got like you mentioned, the wall, very unique, very detailed, and you have the two dragon heads off to the right or the left, which are pretty dope.
Yeah, it looks amazing, man. And I think this is just the entrance to the settlement is what it looks like, because you see the two flags there hanging off the side, which is typically what the settlements have, indicating who has control of that territory. It looks amazing, dude. How it's just so incredibly different. And then it goes up and scales up into the cliff and up into the mountainside there. The architecture, the detail, it's more than we've seen so far out of any settlement that at least I think so. They have reworked or said they reworked some of the other settlements, so I guess we'll have to wait and see what those look like. But I know this compared to the other ones is so different, man, and it's really refreshing to see this kind of diversity is starting to emerge in the game.
Yes, absolutely. So one of the interesting things, like you mentioned, that there's the flag. This does look like maybe the settlement part of the zone. Dude, I want to see what the fortress looks like because of how unique the actual settlement looks. Yeah,
that's a great point. I didn't even think about that, man. I wonder if the fort is a little bit. I'm sure it is. It has to be different, right?
I would think so.
Yeah.
So it's interesting because they never really mention. They never really mention, I would assume, because of almost every zone except for the northern zones, Bordy, have settlements and forts in them and are player driven. So I wonder if this is going to be a zone that doesn't have that aspect, that doesn't have a settlement or a fort in it, and it just kind of has like an outpost, and then the rest of it's kind of hostile territory.
Yeah, maybe so. I mean, looking at this picture, this looks to be a settlement. I don't know what else this would be, unless this was a point of interest and there's mobs in there. But to me, it doesn't look like that. To me, this looks like an actual settlement.
Well, the banners in the background, the blue banners hanging up, do make it look like you said, that some company has control over this area. So,
yeah,
dude, are we gonna get a corrupted dragon, dude?
Oh, I don't know, man, but it'd be incredible.
That would be dope. All right, so next screenshot here we have it was a little bit blurry there. So we have a little, again, like an eastern bridge with very detailed woodwork. And then in the back, you have, you know, a little bit of a palace or a temple, obviously Eastern. This appears to be, if this is a settlement, it appears to be in this settlement, dude. And, dude, I want to live here. This is where my home's going to be.
Yeah.
Right off the bat.
Absolutely, dude. Yep. What this looks like to me is this looks like the previous screenshot we looked at, just under the way there, that little opening where it looked like you could come into what appears to be the settlement. This looks like the bridge right after that.
Yeah,
it's what it looks like to me, just a different perspective. And so now we're inside and looking over the bridge into what appears to be maybe you know, that might be the town hall or whatever. It looks so good though, man. And then I like the cliffside buildings up there. I hope those are houses up there that you can own. And I want a cliffside house that just overlooks the rest of the settlement. How dope would that be, dude? Look at that. It looks cool. And that they may be, because there's smaller buildings up there. Those may be maybe houses that you could buy.
I think so. Well, okay. So Reekwater has houses like that are way up, you know, and this is a lot like Reekwater because of the vertical nature of it. A lot of the settlements from the preview event were more, you know, flat oriented, like they were just like, you know, where all the houses and the shops and the buildings were all like on one level. But yeah. Reekwater had you know, a very vertical feel to it, to where you could climb up bridges, and some of the houses were looking over the city or the town or settlement or whatever, and it was really dope, dude. And it looks like Ebonscale Reach is going to be of similar fashion, because look at, like you said, look at the houses all the way up there, dude. It is way up at the top of the screenshot, so that would be dope to live up there.
Yeah. Also, look at the trees and kind of the bamboo that's there. It's very you know, Asian themed, which is cool too. I like that as well. They don't just have the normal foliage and trees you would see in the other zones. It's very unique to this area. I like it.
Yeah, it's really cool, and it again kind of leaves you wanting. If they can have that much diversity between zones, I'd love to see more stuff like this, because this is really, really cool.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so the last screenshot we have here, dude, and it is a corrupted, looks like a corrupted village. Now this is very different than the what we assume is the settlement of the zone. This is like it looks like an abandoned palace or temple with like a corrupted obelisk pointing out of it. This might be that corrupted queen's lair, or wherever you might encounter her.
You know what I'm thinking, man? I'm thinking this is a dungeon right here, or an expedition, excuse me. I think this could potentially be an expedition. Either that, or just some of the open world, you know, kind of open world dungeons we see with the point of interest. But I think I wouldn't be surprised if this were an expedition right here, and you have to make it up into this tower and fight the queen here. That would be so sick, dude. This screenshot right here looks absolutely incredible anyway. With this building perched on top of the mountain like that, bro, it looks so good. And then the little tower over there off to the side, and then the corruption coming up out. It's so awesome, and it makes me I want to know what this is and what we're going to be doing here. And dude, I can't wait to get in game and check this out. It looks so good, man. It
does. Their team does a really, really good job at building out you know, structures and things like this. Especially if you start to look into a lot of the you know, the ancient temples and the ancient palaces, a lot of the you know, in-game zones that were centered around the ancient Earth near the northern point of the map. If you made it up there during the preview event, a lot of those structures were pretty cool. I remember you were with me when we ran up. It was either a tree or a massive ancient temple that you can climb all the way to the top to and jump out of. We ended up and dude, it was so high up there, and I think open world games like New World kind of lend themselves to, you know, cool environmental things like that, because, you know, you're not necessarily you know, you're not instanced, you're not, you know, it's not like a particular group type setting. You can you know, travel the world of New World or Aeternum and explore and feel like you're exploring, not just continue to stay like in one zone that looks the same as the rest.
Yeah, absolutely. You don't want one zone that looks the same as the rest. That gets very boring. So that I think that's what excites me the most about Ebonscale Reach is the vast diversity when you compare this particular style to anything else we've seen during the preview event. Because all of it during the preview event, there were differences. It was different enough that it wasn't boring, but it wasn't near this different. You know, it all had a similar feel, and now this is just completely changes the game, and I love it.
Yeah, and to be frank, they did say that they're going to update the settlements themselves because a lot of people complained that all of them look like copy pasted. So they are redoing those, and we did get another zone that is very unique, like this one called Reekwater. That's very swampy and very cool looking. Yeah. All right, Bordy. So with a new zone like this, and like you said, new aesthetics. Do we expect to see any new mob types here? Maybe a different faction of Angry Earth, or maybe just more corrupted people. Maybe there's because of the corrupted army that this queen is putting together. Are we going to see maybe some new corrupted mobs here?
I hope so, man. I hope that we see some kind of, some samurai-looking mobs running around with katanas or swords that try to fight us. Because when you look at Reekwater, you have pirate mobs because you have the Siren Queen over there who rules that land, and all of that is kind of themed towards that direction. So I would think that we should, at least, if they're not new mobs, at least mobs that have different. A different aesthetic to them, not necessarily a whole new mob. It's, it just has a different vibe, a different outfit on, maybe, like the pirates, just throw on some samurai armor, dude, and let me go at them. That would be so sick, man. I really hope. I would think we will, though. In my mind, it makes sense that they're going to add some new mobs to this zone, right? They did to Reekwater, so why wouldn't they to this zone?
Yeah, I agree with you there for sure. And like with Reekwater, we did get to see a lot of new Angry Earth mobs. So hopefully, yeah. And I guess some new Lost mobs because of the new pirates and everything like that. So maybe in this zone, we will see some new Ancient and some new corrupted mobs. That'd be dope. All right, so here's an interesting topic because of the nature of how they're adding these zones. So they added Reekwater, which was an in-game zone. They specified that would be inclined to the like obviously higher level players or max level players. Do we think that because Ebonscale is now, and they did mention it was an in-game zone, do you think they're adding too many in-game zones and not enough filler content to help while we keep things interesting while we level?
No, I think it's fine that it's an in-game zone, to be honest with you. I think there's other zones in there that kind of fit that bill, and now that they're adding expeditions and other events, and we don't know what all they're going to add yet to help us level, and they have said they're refining questing, and they're doing a lot of work in that area for the leveling and the progression. So I think it's really good that they're adding these in-game zones. I don't know that... I don't know that it needs to be just a slew of them thrown in there, but I think adding these 2 additional in-game zones is really good because during the preview event, there weren't that many, right? It was just all the zones in the northern part of the map were the in-game zones, and there really wasn't any diversity other than that. You had to travel north to get to the end game and to fight the higher level mobs. So I think it's fine. I think it's totally good that it's an in-game zone.
I agree with you for sure. And another interesting talking point is, Reekwater's set to be the fishing zone. And they kind of mentioned that would be, the hotspot for fishermen and that gathering craft. Do we think that, potentially Ebonscale Reach might be a place to get a rare ore, maybe like Ebonscale ore or something like that?
Ooh, hey, introducing a new ore type to the game with a new zone, maybe that would be cool. I don't know if we'll get that though, but maybe it will be some kind of gathering hotspot for something. That'd be cool. I'm all in for a new resource type. That'd be dope.
Yeah, and it's cool because they have so much room to work with because of the focus on gathering and crafting. Making hotspots for those things, not just like open world dungeons and expeditions and stuff, making hotspots and interesting places for gatherers and crafters, I think is a really cool thing to do in these new zones. So hopefully they stick with that like they did with Reekwater.
Yeah. And maybe there will be dragons, dude. And maybe that's the new resource we get is dragon scale.
Skin them, dude. You skin those dragons, dude.
Yeah. Dragon scale armor. I don't know if that's happening, but
hey, man, it's
wishful
thinking.
Sure.
I think. Confirmed here. Just like we confirmed pistols. and it was actually a rifle.
Yeah, exactly. I want dragons in New World at some point, and it'd be cool if they were here in Ebonscale, but I want dragons in New World, dude, really bad. I think they would be awesome in this game.
I don't know how they couldn't. I mean, it's a historical game. You know what I mean? All these different ancient, you know, they have a lot of Egyptian inspired things. You know, a lot. Yeah. Obviously, the ancients seem to be, you know, very inspired by Egyptian architecture and stuff, dude. Why not just take one more, you know, step forward and go into medieval times and see, let us have some dragons. You know what I'm saying? For sure.
Yeah.
I guess that's more than one step forward. Egyptian. I think we skipped a couple of dynasties there.
A few. Yeah, it's fine.
All right. So last question here: is the map now big enough for launch, Bordy? It seems to. I can imagine them adding another zone. Maybe they will, but you know, given the fact that they kind of did this big info drop and mentioned that they would be adding one more zone before launch, and they didn't specify that they'd be adding more. Is the map big enough if it launches like this with this many zones and you know, territories?
Yeah, I think so. I think the map is plenty big enough now, especially with these two zones being added. I would love to see them at this point reserve the new zones for maybe an expansion a few months after release and start really hammering down on the mid to late game content, as well as fleshing out the faction system that they've mentioned and all the other things that they're working on. I hope that the efforts are tied to that. I am incredibly excited about the new zone. I do think it was needed. I think we needed an additional zone. But I think now it's fine. I think the map is plenty big enough for launch, and it's really big. It's really diverse. There's a lot of different kind of biomes you travel through. It just looks really good, and especially with the addition of this one that is now so much different. I think we're good, man. I think we're good for now. I think it's fine for a launch. So we'll see what they do, but I think it's plenty big enough.
I agree with you, man. 100%. Like you said, I think the focus needs to be turned towards the territory control system, how they're going to manage the government of different territories and keeping that interesting, because you know you create too many zones and then it becomes less interesting who owns them, because then everybody gets one, or a lot of the big guilds in the server get one. So I like the size of the map right now, you know, and we'll see again what Ebonscale Reach brings to the table as far as in-game experiences, because they've specified as an in-game zone. So,
yep.
All right, man. Well, that was fun. Always good to talk about this New World stuff, man. They keep piling it on us, so and we're happy to have it. It's good to have New World stuff for you guys, and we're grateful again for your guys' patronism, because, dude, 400 people. Hopefully by a launch, we can play New World with each and every one of you, dude. That would be dope. For sure.
Yeah, I'm all in, man.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for watching so much. We really appreciate it, and we'll see